Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
That's the spirit यार. देखो ऐसा है कि अगर क्रिप्टो को ग्रो करना है तो किसने ग्रो करना है? मैंने तो करना नहीं, सबने मिलके करना। ये इस स्लाइड के बारे में आप क्या कहेंगे? क्या है ये? टूथपेस्ट है और टूथपेस्ट के अंदर से ट्यूब निकल चुकी है, राइट? मैं आपको ये बोलूँ कि ये ट्यूब वापस टूथपेस्ट में डाल दीजिए, डाल देंगे?
थोड़ा पॉसिबल है।
Is it possible? थोड़ा possible. You will try, but not entirely. So basically, we'll admit that it is not possible. So first, if this is not possible, so is this possible?
No.
No, right? So banning Bitcoin is equivalent to putting toothpaste into the tube.
थोड़ा पॉसिबल
95% no.
ये इफेक्ट्स ऑन द गवर्नमेंट
You can only again you can ban dealing or trading, but can you actually ban Bitcoin? Can Bitcoin be banned around the world?
Some
Can
part.
Bitcoin protocol be banned?
No.
Can you put Satoshi Nakamoto into jail? Can you put the nodes, the entire ecosystem into the jail?
No.
Can any country decide? Bangladesh has decided since beginning. So has anything happened to Bitcoin? China has banned Bitcoin since ages. Has anything happened to Bitcoin? Bitcoin cannot be banned. So it's like once the tube cannot be put back into the toothpaste, Bitcoin can also not be banned. And that's the reason it's flourishing. And that's the reason it cannot be controlled. It is not controlled by one single entity. It cannot be controlled by one single entity.
No.
Right? And in India also, Bitcoin is not banned. Right? Bitcoin is not banned. The RBI circular says that its entities, the entity which RBI regulates,
Banks.
they are not allowed to deal with the entities who deal in virtual currencies or individuals who deal in virtual currency. So you need to understand it, right? So what is law? Law, I have written it. So law is nothing but some codified common sense. So what happens that once upon a time, so when this humanity and this earth came into existence, so there would have been an instance when somebody would have taken a judgment on something, right? A conflict would have happened between two people, and there would have been a person who said, okay, wait here, in this situation, we need to do this, right? Some judge would have, so whatever happens for the first time, and then somebody decides about it. There is a judge who says, okay, fine, this thing needs to be dealt this way. And that decision is passed through a statutory body or a legislative body. That becomes into a code, section, particular words, kis tarike se hona hai, that gets into a codified language. So that becomes a law. But any law which is there in existence was not existing earlier, right? So even today, law on crypto is not there. It will come into existence for the first time, and it will be in existence for the ages to come. But somebody has to apply its common sense. The judges have to apply their common sense on understanding this. They have to understand this thing for the first time. And that common sense will pass through a legislative body or a statutory body or parliament, and then that will become a codified law. So law is nothing but a codified common sense. So I'm here to talk about the regulation around the world and what is happening in India right now. So I'll talk about crypto sentiment. So what is happening today in the world, that there are three kind of countries, right? So there are countries where it is prohibited, right? So there are countries where it is not prohibited. The law there is evolving, right? And then there are countries which I have put those countries in green, where the regulation is almost done. Not entirely, but 80 to 90% work is done. Companies are getting registered, they are working freely, individuals are dealing in it, people are using it as a mode of payment. So these are the countries where, like Japan, Switzerland, Malta, South Korea, Luxembourg, Singapore, they fall in green section where they have already formed laws around the crypto space. Then you have developing where interesting is that China was earlier in red, but after like the news which recently came 7-8 days back, I have put China into the yellow segment. Earlier it was into the red space. So China, US, Canada, Germany, France, Australia and UK, they are not very clear about it, but still they are saying, okay fine, let them grow in the controlled environment, keep a check on it. Till the time they are growing and we have an eye on them, we are trying to put a surveillance on this thing in a controlled environment, we will try to evolve our regulation around it, right? And the third is that they are very negative. Like, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Egypt. In Egypt, they have the Islamic reasons to not, because they say that in Islam, as per them, because it's an Islamic country, the fatwa has been issued that Bitcoin is not legal there. Then in Bangladesh, it's been banned. The provision for putting people in jail is already there. In Pakistan, it is completely banned, and in India, they plan to do it. So these are the countries who are very hostile for crypto. These are the countries where things are developing. This is a very important chart here. Why? Because if we see India will one day they'll see with whom we are comparing, where we are falling. Are we getting compared with Pakistan? Are we getting compared with Bangladesh? Should anybody compare us with Pakistan or Bangladesh or Egypt? My comparison should have happened with ideally US, Canada, Germany, France, Australia, UK, because I want to be a developed nation, I want to excel, I want to grow ahead of US and UK, right? Should have ideally compared here or here, but I'm getting compared with Pakistan, Bangladesh and Egypt. If I have this much of common sense, but if I, as an Indian, can feel for it that I shouldn't have been in this space, then definitely there is a complete mechanism in India. There are different agencies in government who also know that where we are falling, right? Now there is an important slide which I have made. Crypto sentiments, IEOs. IEO की वो वाला IEO नहीं, Internet Exchange, Initial Exchange Offering नहीं. IEOs है आपका Intergovernmental Economic Organization. When lot of countries they come together and they say, let's be united, let's be together and then let's form an organization where we can have a free flow of trade with less tariffs and let's have less barriers for trade. So these are few quite famous organizations where countries have joined together. They have formed a group. So if we see BRICS, so can anybody tell me who are the countries which are there in BRICS? Brazil, Russia, South Africa, China and India, right? Now what happens that there are 5 friends who have come together, right? And 4 of them are falling into yellow zone where they are trying to evolve, crypto regulation. They are trying to frame a policy around it. So Russia, Brazil, South Africa and China are framing a crypto regulation. They are falling in yellow zone. India will see itself as alone. Now if you see G7, there is no powerful group other than G7. I mean, it includes Canada, France, Germany, Italy, UK, US and Japan. They all are falling in either the yellow side or Japan has already evolved. Japan has already made a framework around it. Then you have NATO. It's a military alliance where you have all the countries falling under the yellow zone, and then you have Luxembourg, Norway, and Portugal in green zone, where Portugal is saying that they actually pay taxes. If you deal in crypto and you earn anything on crypto, that money is not taxable. Right? Then you have Luxembourg, Norway. So if you see, this is the only country which is falling in red. If I can see that, they also know that. Right? So this is not a comparative analysis for you. You should, and this is also not a confidence booster. This is just a common sense. Once again what I said, law is nothing but a codified common sense. So the objective of showing this slide is that if I can see that, India is falling behind, the government agencies, the people in the ministries, they also know that what is happening around the world. In one of the latest report which was submitted, where they proposed a 10-year jail, they are actually given the example of China. In that report, while making that report, they said that China has also banned it, so we should also ban it. Now, what has happened in the past 7 days? China has moved into yellow zone.
And they started looking into it now. India has started.
I'm coming on to that now. The crypto revolution has to happen around the world. If these two countries get aligned, crypto revolution will automatically happen. And if these two countries, they decide that we will be hostile against crypto, it will take a longer time for crypto adoption around the world. Why? Because of pure size of the population. 7.7 billion is the population of the world. And China and India contributes 37% of it. So just imagine that crypto regulation happens, in few parts of the world, but it doesn't happen in China and India. So longer it will take crypto adoption, right? But the good part is that 7 days back, right, China has shown the intent. China has shown the intent of not for crypto. Why? So here, how many people think that the news of state-backed currency by China will help crypto? Raise your hand. How many people think that it will help crypto? How many people? So those who have not raised their hand think that it will not help crypto at all. So what has happened that when I was talking to a lot of people, so a lot of people said that China is launching their own state-backed currency. It is not going to help crypto at all. It is not going to help Bitcoin. It is not going to help the coin which I own, right? And this is an unnecessary pump which is happening in the market because since most of the people still think around the world that blockchain is equal to crypto, is equal to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is synonymous to blockchain. Most of the people think like that. So what happens that this news came in. So most of the people think that the state-backed currency by China is nothing more than a same old story. Where China is saying that blockchain is good, Xi Jinping said that seize the opportunity. What opportunity? The opportunity of seizing this technology, making use of the technology called blockchain, which is behind Bitcoin. So most of the people actually believe that it is nothing more than the same old story where everybody says that blockchain is good and crypto is bad, right? And we are the only guys present here who deal in crypto who think that blockchain is also good and crypto is excellent, right? And both exist, and both are necessary, and both go hand in hand, right? So I have a different perspective to it. I think this is a great news which has happened in China. This will have a huge impact. How? First of all, the news from China will have a direct impact on India. Right? How crypto is going to be adopted around the world? Do you think that the governments around the world will accept Bitcoin and Ethereum just like that? Do you think so it will happen? Do you think so? They will allow Bitcoin, they will allow Ethereum, they will allow Litecoin. It is not going to happen like that. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, decentralized technology are direct threat to the power. And every nation, every government around the world, they love power. It's a game of power. And somewhere, the media has always presented crypto in a light of challenging power. They'll threaten the government, they'll throw away this, they'll do this, they'll throw away that, they will form another country. That has always been the media. They've always tried to present crypto in a way that it will threaten sovereignty, it will challenge sovereignty. And the cryptocurrency world, the moment currency is attached to crypto, it becomes a direct threat to the existing monetary policy. So do you think that any government will welcome crypto just like that? It is not going to happen, my friends. It is not going to happen. How it is going to happen? It is going to happen that governments around the world will allow permissioned blockchains. They will accept permissioned blockchains. So you have open blockchains and you have permissioned blockchains. And state-backed currency of any nation is a permission blockchain, right? And China's decision of launching their own state-backed currency is directly going to impact India. Why? Because India will have a chameleon effect. कि यार होता नहीं, कभी बार आपके दोस्तों के साथ होता नहीं कि नहीं होता? आप कभी किसी शादी में ब्लेजर पहन के नहीं जाते हो, अचानक वहां देखते हो कि 10 लोग ब्लेजर पहने हैं, भाई साहब ने टाई पहनी है। अभी यहाँ पे if suppose 70% of the people are wearing tie, you say भाई हाथ चलते हैं, so this is not chameleon effect. दूसरे के behavior से you get inspired. So I have that, India will also have that FOMO. Oh yeah, Libra is launching, Russia is launching, Iran is launching, Switzerland is launching, 205 nations are planning to launch. Yeah, I should also do something about it. And just imagine a situation that another 6 months down the line, they actually plan to launch a digital currency and Mr. Narendra Modi tweets about Geo. Not Geo baby. Cholo, okay, Geo ले लो. But maybe not Geo, a different form of Lakshmi or another voice. Just imagine what will happen. Mr. Modi has the highest following in the world on Instagram and Twitter. What will happen? It will trend. When something will trend, what will happen?
Money.
People will get to know about it. What is trending? What is trending? What is this blockchain? Or what has happened in China? Suddenly the interest for blockchain has risen. You know, the companies which are based on blockchain have actually, the stock price have risen by 40%. I'm not talking about the crypto exchanges. I'm not talking about NEOs who are based in China. I'm not talking about the cryptocurrencies which are based in China. No, I'm talking about the companies who are based on blockchain. The Hong Kong Stock Exchange is saying that top 10 countries, companies which are dealing in blockchain, their stock price have risen by 40% in 2 days. So what will happen? People will have a huge interest in this space, blockchain. What will happen? When a country like India and China will decide to launch a state-backed currency, they will need an infrastructure of professionals, of blockchain professionals. They'll have colleges, they'll have courses, they'll have degree, they'll have certifications. You know how many people are there in blockchain space in the world? Can anyone tell me how many people are there in blockchain space in the world? Can anyone tell me?
42% of the blockchain
We only do it. Thank you. There are only 1 lakh professionals. I will repeat once again. You can check this figure. There are only 1 lakh professionals, and half of them love to work from home. Why? Because they make a lot of money. They don't want to work anywhere. They don't want to work anywhere. I have confirmatory news that Jio, they want to launch a coin. They have 300 openings in India and they are able to fill only 15. Why? There are no professionals available. So what will happen? When the government will decide to launch their own state-backed currency, they will promote. Suddenly there will be a rise in blockchain. Suddenly there will be a rise in infrastructure. People will go to colleges to learn permission blockchains. People in the colleges will go to learn permission blockchains. But what will happen? I'll tell you. 3 years when their course will end, on third year, they'll say, we came here to learn permission blockchain, but actually, we'll find career in open blockchain. So before demonetization, there was a Paytm, and after demonetization, there was a Paytm. Paytm demonetization से पहले वाला और Paytm demonetization के बाद वाला फर्क है. तो रातों रात बिटकॉइन क्रिप्टो को गले को नहीं लगाने वाला. आज आपको क्लियर हो, if you have those कि मैं अपना यहाँ पैसा लगा दूँ, इसको लगा दूँ, please be very careful. ऐसा नहीं होने वाला है. What is going to happen? It will happen step by step. So there will be a spike on Google search. There will be a direct impact on India. There will be a chameleon effect. And let me tell you, Deloitte ने अभी एक रिसर्च करी है कि ब्लॉकचेन इज नॉट ओनली अबाउट क्रिप्टो. इतने सारे यूज केसेस हैं ब्लॉकचेन, राइट? एंड people say that from 39% people say the respondents have said that they use it in identity production. Then 37% have said payments में use करेंगे. 36% have said in digital currency. So these are the companies which were interviewed. 1400 plus top corporations around the world, and that is what they have said that where they think blockchain will be used, right? So now we'll come to आपको लगता होगा now that's the question I'm going to ask you कि सर ये हो क्यों नहीं रहा 5 trillion economy we talk about Mr. Modi is talking about 5 trillion economy and we can see the direct effect of crypto there is an advantage of it. And why still we are not able to do it? So these are broadly, 6 major concerns of Indian government, right? So first is crypto is pseudonymous, right? आप बिना अपनी आइडेंटिटी बताए एक वॉलेट से दूसरे वॉलेट में क्रिप्टो भेज सकते हैं बिना KYC के. आपको वॉलेट सेट करना है यू डोंट नीड एनी KYC. तो कैश में आप दे सकते हो तो आपकी आइडेंटिटी ट्रैक नहीं होती. तो दिस इज वन ऑफ द मेजर कंसर्न, राइट? Then second concern is blockchain is good, crypto is bad. So why we need crypto at all? Blockchain हम बना देंगे. We'll have a Excel spreadsheet kind of a software, DLTs, different forms of blockchain where they don't need a crypto. So they have that myth. It's a myth, and they don't know that blockchain existed since 1990. It's only crypto which actually gave a glamour to word blockchain. Technology existed since 1990. Right? So there are threats where what will happen to consumer protection. Then people deal on foreign exchanges, volatility, and then threat to legal tender. Legal tender क्या है? जो आपकी जेब में वो अलग अलग कलर के जो
fiat money
है वो लीगल टेंडर है, उसको डायरेक्ट थ्रेट है. ये ब्रॉडली 6 कंसर्न है. अगर इन 6 कंसर्न का सरकार को आंसर मिल जाए तो कहीं ना कहीं क्रिप्टो विल गेट देयर विल बी सम पॉजिटिविटी व्हिच विल कम. एंड नाउ यू विल बी थिंकिंग हियर कि आज तक किसी ने ये आंसर नहीं दिया. ये आंसर अलग अलग फोरम में अलग अलग तरीकों से, यहाँ तक कि अब तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के अंदर रिप्रेजेंटेशन के थ्रू और केस के अंदर जो आर्ग्यूमेंट्स हुए आपने देखे होंगे क्रिप्टो कानून का. अगर आपने लाइव ट्वीट पढ़े हो जो व्हाट वी हैव सेड, सो देयर आर मेनी वेज वेयर द गवर्नमेंट हैव बीन गिवन आंसर फॉर दिस. So you have already had KYCs and Anti-Money Laundering Act 2000, then your Anti-Money Laundering Rule 2005, then you already have KYC directions for banking. Then if you are saying blockchain is good, crypto is bad, are you talking about a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet? Are you only talking about database? If you are actually talking about blockchain, you will require crypto asset, right? So that already has been told to the government through IAMAI, through various representative bodies. Then government talks about consumer protection. कि government का सबसे बड़ा concern ये है कि what if there is a consumer on an exchange, right? So what happens? Cyber security का threat. That his crypto might get stolen, right? Or the exchange might run away. And a lot of exchanges have run away in the past. So for that you already have Consumer Protection Act 1986, then you have IT Act 2000, and then the representative body has already told the government that you can have a cyber security standards where a third party can do an audit of exchanges. Then you can also appoint an escrow where all the exchanges deposit crypto at one point and they can store that crypto in an escrow which is governed by the government. Even that proposal has already been given to the government. Then if you want to control that, if you are so concerned about consumer protection, even you can appoint your own escrow where we all can store crypto at your place, and with your due permission we can move it from hot wallet to cold wallet. Then you have people dealing with foreign exchanges. Exchanges have already said, Sumit, the founder has already told the government, we are ready to restrict the trading in India only. We will not allow people to send crypto outside from our exchanges. People will come on our exchanges, they'll only deal in India only. We ensure that. That already has been told to the government. Then volatility is high in cash dealings. Right? So the main concern was volatility. So for answer to that, that volatility doesn't happen on exchanges. There you have a demand and supply, a proper mechanism of defining a price. But when I want to sell, when somebody wants to sell in cash, वो तो खरीदने वाले के मूड पे in cash you will never get a right kind of a price. It will only all depend upon the person's mood and how you want to do it. But on exchange you have a standard way of doing it. So, threat to legal tender. Yes, you are absolutely right. Government concern that it is a threat to legal tender, it is okay. So what we also say that yes, it's an intangible property and it's a store of value. Allow that. Nobody will use it as a payment. It can be used as a commodity the way you deal with your entities, your banks deal with gold and silver. Similarly, you can have the same laws and same principles on this. So you must be interested in the next hearing, which is happening on 19th of November 2019, and what is going to happen. Any guess?
Date.
Delay?
Date.
Delay? Tarikh pe tarikh? Yes, you are absolutely right. Give a big hand to yourself. Why there is a delay? The delay will happen because November in the history of this nation is going to be historic because 5 judgments are lined up in November. 5 most important judgments in the history. It is going to change the economic and demographic of the nation. So first is the Ayodhya matter, second is Rafael, then there then there is this temple Safi wala that thing, and then you also have that CGI should come under RTI. Right? So it's going to be historic. Do you think crypto is not that historic? You don't have time for it. So it will get delayed. Right? And what will happen then? Then on 18th of November, you have winter session which is going to start. And there are chances that it might get introduced in the winter session. A lot of people say that. But after China's move, it might not come in winter session. Because they think that if China is doing it, let's take a little bit more time and let's appoint a separate standing committee to maybe review it once again. That can happen. That can happen. Government might take a U-turn because of China's move. So that is again my personal view. It is not necessary. The regulation can come in this winter session. It can come, right? So that's it, guys. You can follow us on Crypto Kanoon on Twitter.